Morning. Truthfully, it's hard to say the word good based on the fact that we've had such a hard weekend. The loss of life. Three people have been killed in our city over the last 72 hours. But today I want to share with you and speak to Jalen Palmore. Jalen, 13-year-old, student, 8th grade, Oscar Mitchell. The truth is, he should be in his classroom today with his classmates and his schoolmates. But he's not, and he can't because he's no longer with us. He was killed. He was killed by a bullet that wasn't meant for him. Jalen is a innocent child that was taken from us, taken from his mother, taken from his father and his stepfather, and taken from his sister and his classmates and his neighbors. And the truth is, it's just not fair. It's not right. We've already had such loss among teenagers being killed. Jalen would be 14 May 27th, a few months from now. And speaking to his mother yesterday through her tears, she was expressing that he should be getting ready for his 8th grade dance. Jalen was a gamer. Truthfully, he liked being indoors more than outdoors, but just happened to be out on the porch that day because it was nice outside. He should be getting ready for high school. I remember being in the 8th grade. We all should remember being in the 8th grade, getting excited and getting ready for high school. I have a lot of emotion, truthfully. They range from anger to sadness to worry and concern, but it pales in comparison to the grief I saw on Jalen's mother's face yesterday. It probably pales in comparison to talking to his principal in person yesterday and Sunday, as well as looking at his classmates and schoolmates in their eyes yesterday at Osware. Adults have to do better. A few days ago, I mentioned the fact that whatever conflict you as an adult have with another adult, it should never lead to an innocent child being killed. And if an innocent child is killed, how coward it is of you or several individuals for anyone not to come forward, because that's just not right. At what point do we have a line? As mayor, as a leader in the city, I do everything I can to protect our children. And I believe Jalen's mother has done everything she could to protect her child. She lived in this home 17 years. 911 was never called. Jalen comes from a good home, was doing nothing to anybody. Part of what I want to say is that Chief Thurman and the detectives assigned to this case are doing every single thing they can. But it's incumbent upon me to be real with the public and the community. Our detectives' rate of speed and ability to solve a case, to bring any form of justice to a family that's lost a family member, in this case a 13-year-old child, depends on the public's ability and witness ability or anyone with information to come forward. We understand we live in a culture that doesn't necessarily lend itself to people to want to come forward. We also know we live in a culture where some are afraid to come forward. And we have an anonymous line that you can call to give information. Tell me, what's that number, 254 or 252?
254.
254-7777. There's an anonymous line you can call. Again, 205-254-7777. If you have information on the person or persons that shot Jalen. I'm tired of standing before you, speaking to another child that is taken from us, taking from their mother, their father, their family. It was last week or the week before I spoke to all of you all, to the media, to the public, about it's important as adults we tell our children that we love them. And the reason I said that is because I truly believe we can't arrest or police our way out of this. I spoke to the fact that you can't program your way out of this. And although we are offering, partnering with the Jefferson County Health Department around violence interrupters and more resources in conflict resolution, we can't program our way out of this. But I failed to share this. It's not only incumbent that we tell our children that we love them. As adults, we have to show our children that we love them. And equally importantly, we have to empower and teach our children how to love themselves. The reason that's important is because we not only need them to live, we want them to thrive, and we want them to grow up, and when they become adults, they're not making the same decisions some of what we see today with some of our adults. As recent as yesterday, 2 adults, verbal altercation, one ups a pistol. Or even if the transaction is illegal, instead of you making the purchase or the exchange, you decide to rob and steal, keep your product, and take that person's money. There's no such thing as a clean robbery, but instead of just robbing them, you shoot and kill them. Or in the case of Jalen, a drive-by. As adults, we have to do better. What I want the public to know is that we got to stop pointing the finger or believing it's somebody else's job. All the success stories of the city of Birmingham, the root of them is a village approach. And if there are resources lacking at home, if there are programs our adults or children don't have access to, we're still dependent on our faith-based community. We're dependent on our nonprofits. We're dependent on the OGs and those with street knowledge who are seniors and elders now. We're dependent on friends and community to step up to help us address this problem of gun violence. Even with the issues of what the state just passed, the legislature just passed last week, it literally almost feel as a mayor that one hand is behind my back and the blindfold on when we've been able to take 2,000 illegal guns off the street a year for the last 3 years. And then a law was passed that literally says you don't need a permit to carry a pistol anymore. How do you justify that when we continue to have people shoot out of vehicles, into homes, into other vehicles? When we attempt to do everything we can at the local level to address gun violence, but at the state level, they're passing laws that are a 180 of that, or at the federal level, not enough courage to really support more measures to prevent gun violence in our community. Whether it's mass shootings or in the case of Birmingham, people finding ways to obtain guns illegally. I implore everyone to consider the raw emotion that Jalen's mother and family is feeling right now. That you never want to feel that pain. To wake up and not to hear your son's voice ever again. To not be able to send your child off to high school. To not be able to see them go on their first date. It's not right. It's not fair, and I really want to call on the public, particularly adults, to do better. To be better. To find better ways of protecting children. Even in your illegal activity, children should not be involved. We'll do everything we can on our end as from the police, not only to provide resources for our detectives, but from an enforcement standpoint, continue to have a presence. But as I stated earlier, we won't police our way out of this. Before we open it up, I wanted to bring the Chief Thurman up if he wanted to add anything to what I've just shared before we have any questions on this topic.
First and foremost, as the mayor stated, we need the public's help in solving some of these cases. It's very troubling, very frustrating, and I spent over 9 years in homicide with the Birmingham Police Department, that we can't get the public's help to solve some of these cases. There are a lot of hurting families in our community, and it's incumbent upon our community members to come forward and assist us with these cases. Just as the mayor said, we can't police our way out of this. We continue to do everything every day. We look at crime at every 24 hours and adjust our resources accordingly. But even then, we still have frustrating moments like this when Jalen is murdered or any other child is murdered in our city. So we've got to continue to work harder, as we always have, but we've got to have the public's help. The public has got to help the police department in order to get justice for these families.
This time, I want to open it up to anybody with questions. We're still doing the
They're available, but we can do that after this. I can bring them in separately.
yeah. When we get done with this topic, we'll bring them in. I think it's worth discussing.
Mayor Woodfin, we said we can't program our way out of this, we can't police our way out of this, we need the public's involvement. It sounds like the village is afraid to come forward. What more needs to be done? What more needs to be said? This is becoming something that's just too often. It's just as much as you don't like standing up here and talking about it, it's exhausting to report it every day as well. So what more? What more?
I think in the immediate, the priority focus is on justice for these victims and their families who've been recently killed. So just alone in the less than 3 months of 2022, 7 children now have been killed. Other adults as well. So the immediate focus is justice. That means every available resource we can provide to our detectives, we're doing. In addition to that, our detectives and our chief of police are telling us, listen, the police was not there in the commission of this crime or this homicide. If you have information, please share it with us. If you are afraid to come forward, you can do it anonymously. If you're afraid because you live in proximity of where this is and you believe your life may be in danger, there are programs, there are housing programs we can assist with. We want to share to our public that if you know something but are afraid, there are resources available for you to remain anonymous, and or resources if you need relocation. So that's the immediate. I think the long term, we continue to drive uphill, fight uphill, march uphill against a culture that's so ingrained of embracing guns. And these aren't the little handguns of 10, 20 years ago. These guns have the ability to go through vehicle doors and windows and homes and vests. They're multiple shooters. The ease and access to guns. I just mentioned earlier, we've taken over 2,000 guns off the street. Chief provides me with the report every top of the week, every Monday, of how many guns we've taken off the street. And it pales in comparison to how many more get out there. For every one we take off, there's 2 more on the street. We go uphill against a culture that says, if somebody hits you, hit them back. Again, wanting to provide all the conflict resolution in the world. But 2/3 of the day is at home of, if somebody hit you, hit them back. So again, chief, his detectives get a call of a felony assault. The victim is shot. Victim survives. Detective goes to the hospital room. Victim refuses to tell us who shot them, but they know who shot them because they've been taught to hit back. And instead of using these, they actually pick up a gun and want to retaliate. It is an uphill battle of a culture that's embraced retaliation and revenge. Truthfully, I'm unaware of any mayoral administration in the entire nation that's figured this out, because I would have stolen it by now if they had, or borrowed it or used it or whatever language. you want to say. But I think the long-term play is an overinvestment in the next generation. I believe they can be better than us. I believe they can make decisions better than us. I believe whatever conflict arises in their lives, that they can make better choices than we as adults are making, and choose to not pick up a gun to solve their issue.
Do you feel hopeless?
I don't. I think what I feel is an overwhelming amount of anger. It's hard to sit across from a mother that's grieving and tears are coming down her eyes, sharing with me the stories of her 13-year-old son that she'll never get to hold again. Hopeless is not the word. It's more of anger and sadness. It's more of, some explicits. It's more of adults do better. It's more of how would you feel? So these people in the streets, the shooters, the thugs, the cowards, they have families. I know they do, right? I know they have a brother or a sister that's younger, a sibling. They have a son or a daughter that's younger. They have a son or a daughter that's of young age. If someone shot or killed their son or daughter, or their little brother or little sister, they would be banging on the chief's door demanding that we do something. Whatever that feeling is the current feeling Jalen's mother and classmates and family are experiencing. Do better. Do unto others. That's what I feel. Anybody else?
Are you hopeful that there will be a quick arrest in this case? And I ask because with Major Turner, a year went by before someone was arrested, and part of that was because the suspect was already in custody for something else. Do you think coming here today, making this plea to the public, someone will come out quicker than they did for Major Turner?
I hope so. To honestly answer your question, earlier I mentioned our detective's ability to solve these cases, and Chief can correct me if I'm wrong, is the speed of having cooperation from the public and or witnesses or anyone with information. To be very clear, Jalen's an innocent child on his porch. Any adults in that proximity of Jalen, whatever information they have that can help will be helpful. And I hope this public plea, I hope this public cry out. And the truth is, standing here, yes, I'm speaking as mayor, but I am trying to channel every raw emotion I saw from Jalen's mother, who I know if she was standing here would be pleading, and she shared with me, quote, "This has to stop." Quote, "I want those who did this to my son to be brought to justice." Anybody else?
Talking about the concealed carry permits issue, is there anything you'd like to say to the Alabama lawmakers in light of recent events?
Yes. I'm pretty consistent in this conversation. I am all for Second Amendment rights. But the truth is, everyone doesn't have good intent with the use of guns. As the president said the other day in the State of the Union, and I won't quote it 100%, but correctly that is, I'm not sure that our deer need Kevlar and vests. The type of guns that are being used on our streets illegally are killing other human beings. And the toolbox of having various tools within this toolbox to address gun violence, the state legislators just took a massive tool away from Chief Thurman and his police to have the ability to take illegal guns off the streets, which we know, to be fair and direct with you, no, it doesn't solve or prevent every crime, but we know it's decreased them, or the ability to not increase them. Taking that tool away is a major blow to law enforcement, to officers who put their lives on the front line when they stop a vehicle to prevent another robbery, to prevent another shooting into an occupied vehicle or an occupied home, or the killing of another child. It's bad law. And it's morally wrong at this point, because my expectation of any legislator, damn party, whatever laws we create should be to improve quality of life and save lives. This law jeopardizes lives. Who else?
My question is just, I know you went to go visit Ossuary yesterday, and I heard from the principal he had spoken with the students. Can you just share with us what you said to them? I mean, they're very young. Some of them may be immune to this kind of violence, others are not. They're traumatized, they lost their friends. What did you tell them as their mayor?
I told, when I went into the school yesterday, I had the opportunity to talk to the 8th graders. Not in an assembly form, I just went to the various classrooms, more intimate setting. And we've all been 13 and 14. They're not going to talk a lot. Thank you. We all know that. But I had a chance to look most of them in their eyes and just get a pulse of how they feel. What I told them is that I love them. I said that out loud. It's one thing for me to say this to y'all, but I said we should say we love our children. So that's one of the first things I did when I went into the classroom. And I expressed, as the principal and the superintendent expressed, you don't have to talk to me. But if you're feeling some type of way and you want to talk about it, the counselors are available. But I also told them that I take my responsibility very seriously, and my number one job is to protect them. No different than their superintendent and their principal. And if anything I can do as their mayor, let me know. And I opened it up for anything they wanted to talk about.
Did they tell you what, if there was anything they wanted you to do? Did they answer that?
There's one particular child, which I know other children were triggered by this. He wanted to know, how are y'all going to solve this case? He used a different form of words, but that was the gist of what he was saying, which was hard to answer because it required me to be honest with him and his classmates. Who else?
Chief, the mayor's been talking about 2,000 guns off the street the last couple of years. Where are these guns coming from? Are they people bringing them in and selling them, or are people getting them
Number of things.
stolen?
So people oftentimes leave guns in their cars unattended. Those cars get broken into. Burglaries of homes, illegally purchased, straw purchases. We send someone into a gun store or to a gun show to purchase guns legally, then that person distributes them to people who are unlawfully able to possess firearms, things of that nature. But the bigger problem we see is people leave guns unattended in their vehicles and they get broken into. What good is a gun going to do you in your car unattended? It's not going to do you any good. You just left it there for someone else to steal and use against one of our innocent community members.
So what would you say to those people that are...
Guns need to be locked up, and leaving them in your car is not the place. They need to be locked up in safes, have gun locks. The police department offers gun locks. Those are crimes of opportunity. We just gave our criminals an opportunity and a way to have a firearm. And so we have got to lock these guns up. Parents should be locking guns up so there's not accidents in the home. And that also might give somebody an opportunity to cool off before they go and grab that gun as well. They have to stop and think before they unlock that safe or take that gun lock out. Maybe this isn't the right thing I should be doing right now.
What are your thoughts on this new legislation from the state?
I would have to echo exactly what the mayor said. It's going to hamper us greatly in our ability to get illegal guns off the street and get the guns out of the hands of criminals. it's going to be very difficult. And I believe our statistics will show that pretty quickly once the law is enacted. This was a tool that we were able to use to take guns from people, who are unlawfully able to possess them. And so it's going to hurt. So.
Anything on this topic? Anybody?
I was curious, we talk a lot about how these are just individual disputes. I just wanted to make sure, are we really sure that these are just individual disputes, people arguing in the yard or whatever, that are causing people to kill each other?
I've supervised over 682 homicides in the city of Birmingham in my 9 years that I've spent in homicide. We continue to look at every homicide individually to see what was the root cause. Was there a point in time where law enforcement could have intervened to possibly prevent this particular homicide? 9.5 times out of 10, there was not an opportunity for law enforcement to have intervened. We look at all of our domestic homicides. Was there a point where law enforcement could have intervened? 9 times out of 10, we did intervene. A lot of times the victim didn't take up some of the resources that were available to them to prevent this from occurring. We analyze our homicides and other crimes too. A lot of different ways to analyze. How can we prevent these? What can we do different? Where can we be? It's just difficult. When people won't talk to you, won't give you the information, we find out a lot of times after something's occurred, well, there were several altercations prior to that, but law enforcement was never called. So there was never a way for us to intervene. It's not that we're unwilling to intervene or unable to. We're never given the opportunity, and it's very, very frustrating.
Can I follow up on that? You mentioned resources that victims didn't take advantage of before they were hurt. Can you tell us what those resources are?
There's a number of domestic violence resources here in the city of Birmingham that the city offers, that other entities offer here. There's been conflict resolution training and things in the last few years in this city. There's plans to do more. When I think about the city of Birmingham, there's been a lot of change throughout history in the city of Birmingham. It's because brave men and women came forward and fought and put their lives at stake to make change in this city. That's what has to happen now. When everybody gets fed up and has enough of this will change. But I guess we're not to that point yet, and it's sad. It's very sad.
Is that gonna have to be the shift in culture for everyone to get upset before we can get that change?
Yeah. I mean, how crime, we got a saying, how crime goes in the city of Birmingham is how it's going to go in the metro area. So, all of our crime is down in the city of Birmingham except for homicides. And it's just, our shooting victims are down this year significantly. But to continue to have these homicides almost on a daily basis is very, very frustrating. I get tired of getting the calls. I get tired of reading about the silly things that occurred that caused someone to lose their life. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Somebody gets mad and decides to shoot someone over an argument. Is that worth losing your life over? I don't think so. I had a man killed over a styrofoam cooler years ago. A couple dollar styrofoam cooler. That's how silly these homicides are. They're silly. They're ridiculous. And people are dying and losing their lives. And I'm tired of it.
All right. We actually, that's a very powerful note to end on this topic. Do we want to bring everybody else in on that?
Yes, sir.
If you all got a little time, we have a very, I guess, successful economic development impact story we want to talk to you all about. And it is related to, if I can find it, it's called Green Meadows, which is off the Lakeshore Oxmoor area. Y'all, come on up. I'm talking about y'all, so come on up. I'm gonna give you and I'm gonna give Cornell the mic, and then I'm gonna give it to you, Mike. Yeah, I'm just putting y'all on the spot, so embrace for it. It's cool. Come on up. Y'all come on this side if you want. Yeah, as you all can see, some of this is semi-impromptu, so we're just winging it and going with it. But part of the reason why they're able to come in now is because the Birmingham City Council has approved an ordinance authorizing the sale and development of real estate with Green Meadows Apartments, LLC. The city will sell approximately 222 acres of land located in this vicinity of Lakeshore Parkway, which is at 1911 Tiger Walk, to Green Meadow Apartments for a purchase price of $1.5 million. And Green Meadow Apartments will undertake a multi-phase project involving the development of not only single-family, but multi-family, as well as senior housing, which will include an estimated 900 residents and a commercial tower center. Part of the reason, actually probably the biggest reason why I'm excited, is this is an all-black, all-African-American-led development team, including the general contractor, Michael German, the CEO, the former Alabama representative for HUD. Before he speaks, I think it's important to let Cornell Wesley, who leads our economic development team, speak, and then we'll give it to Michael. Cool? I'll step out of the way.
Well, first, we want to thank Mayor Woodfin. We want to thank the council for their affirmative vote and support of this, what we believe to be a truly transformational project. Birmingham today is a reason to be excited because, as the mayor has already mentioned, this is a message to the entire country that African Americans, minority developers have a place in Birmingham, and we are aggressive and intentional about supporting their efforts to the tune of what this will result in over 100 million worth of development. And so we're excited about this. This is reason to celebrate and know that under this administration, we're not done. We're just scratching the surface. So we're going to continue to work hard for the citizens of Birmingham. Now, I would like to bring Michael German, the former director for the state director for the U.S. Department of HUD, who will give you a few more comments around the project itself.
Well, I want to thank the mayor for his support and his confidence in us and the council. And Mayor Woodfin has been just someone who really has understood and been visionary on how this city can be and should be. And being here for the time that I was here as the director of HUD, I saw the city as an international city and what it can be and should be. And to have this great opportunity. And I also want to recognize Ronnie Underwood, our president, who's also here. So we're looking at the redevelopment, reimagining this whole new community that exists and bringing in all the facets of housing and business that will make this grow and will provide tax relief for the city because we'll be contributing. And also when you look at the design for this super community that we're looking forward to.
Any questions for me?
Can somebody talk about a timeline as far as when this might happen?
Yeah, all right.
We're in our due diligence phase right now, but we hopefully within the next 24 to 36 months.
And where exactly at Lakeshore is this? Because I'll probably have to go out this afternoon and shoot video of the property.
If you're coming down Shannon Road, there's a street called Tiger Walk. If you'll make a right on Tiger Walk, the property directly behind it.
Thank you.
And then can you talk about the economic impact in terms of jobs, bringing that to the city?
And these are our studies preliminary, but based on our studies, we believe it'll bring 240 permanent jobs, another 2,000 in construction jobs during the process.
This concept looks pretty diverse when it comes to housing. You've got single family, senior housing. Can you talk about why it was important to do that, to cover all of that?
Well, basically, it was the mayor's vision, and we wanted to be in line with his vision for the city of Birmingham and how he wanted to develop.
Can you talk a little bit more about what might be in this town center, in the center of all this?
You want to address that, Mike?
Sure. Well, we're looking at childcare, 2 to 3 buildings that are going to be there. We're looking at specialty stores that are there. And we're going to have common areas for the community to come for activities they're doing. And in addition to that, we're looking at doing lofts as part of this too.
One last question. Anybody has it? If not, we're grateful. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.